I now yield to Mr. Andrews, the Subcommittee's senior Democratic member, for his opening remarks.
Senior, that sounds so foreboding. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your courtesy and professionalism and that of your staff. We're happy to have the witnesses with us here this morning. We look forward to your testimony and appreciate your participation. I think the beginning of the chairman's remarks were right on point. We have more than 13 million Americans unemployed as we meet this morning. It's actually about 15 million. And everywhere I go in my district and frankly around the country, what I'm hearing is that those Americans and their neighbors want us to find a way to work together to create an environment in which entrepreneurs and small businesses can create jobs in our country. I think that ought to be the principal focus of the Congress's agenda. Our committee could be finding ways to help make pension assets more available more readily for workers who are late in their careers and can't find another job, but we're not doing that. Our committee could be working together to try to find ways to more quickly restrain health care costs for employers and employees to make business climate more favorable. We're not doing that. Our committee could be working together to try to find ways to most effectively engage in job training, so people who lost a job or a career in a diminishing industry could find a way to shift to a growing industry. But we are not doing that. Instead, what we are doing is engaging in what I believe is a political exercise to highlight what the chairman referred to as a culture of union favoritism at the OLMS. Let's examine the factual basis for that claim. If there were a culture of union favoritism, one would expect that three results would obtain. First, one would expect that there would be fewer indictments or actions initiated against improper union conduct than there had been previously. So in other words, there would be a drop in the number of indictments from the Bush administration compared to the Obama administration. In fact, the opposite is the case. The average number of indictments by the OLMS in the Bush years was 122. The average number of indictments in the Obama years has been 126. The next fact that you would assume would obtain, if there was in fact a culture of union favoritism, is that the number of convictions for wrongful conduct would have dropped from the Bush years to the Obama years. In fact, the opposite is true. In the years that the Bush Labor Department was running this operation, the average convictions were 113 per year. The average number of convictions in the Obama administration has been 125 convictions per year. And then the third claim that one might make is that the administration isn't giving the OLMS the resources that it needs to do its job, whether it's conducting audits, filing indictments, or winning convictions. Well, it's interesting to see that in 1985, the OLMS was spending about $4.01 per worker covered by the OLMS protections. Inflation of dollars. In other words, in $20, we're spending $4 per worker covered by the law. I would think that if there is a culture of union favoritism, that resource number would have dropped. In fact, in 2010, we are spending $5.82 per covered worker in 2010 dollars. So the hypothesis here, because I know the chairman likes the scientific method as a good scientist, and so do I. The hypothesis is there's a culture of union favoritism under this administration at the OLMS. The fact is that the number of indictments has gone up, not down. The fact is that the number of convictions has gone up, not down. And the fact is the dollars expended per worker to enforce these protections has gone up, not down. So what we expect to engage in with these very fine, competent witnesses today is their explanation as to why it is, if given these facts, that in fact there is a culture of union favoritism. We look forward to the discussion, and I thank the chairman for the time.